Oh, what? Okay. I did not think I was gonna hit that in. What just happened? Dude, I'm gifting it. Okay, that was actually a really good shot. That was probably the best shot I've hit in like a little while. All right, what is up, guys? We are back with a video that is kind of like a part 2 almost of a video that I made a while ago that got a lot of love, and I figured, you know, there's so many different pros and like the scene is just completely different. It'd be fun to go over some pros and some of their camera settings and basically try them out and do some people that, you know, we didn't get to check out in that video. Obviously we got to do some iconic ones like Cooks here, but this one's gonna have some good ones too, I think. So just for reference, these are my current camera settings. I don't think I've changed these in a really long time. 106 field of view, 280 distance, 110 height, 5 angle or -5, 0.7 stiffness, 6.3 swivel speed, and 1 transition speed. We're not gonna worry about like dead zone stuff or anything like that today. We're just gonna basically focus on camera settings and try some different ones out. But yeah, these are the settings I've had for a while. It's funny, like if you watch pros, if you watch them stream and stuff, I feel like pros are changing their camera settings all the time. Like a pro will be playing a lot of times, or you know, a couple different pros that I've seen, and like they'll miss a shot or something and they'll just like jump in and like change their camera settings a little bit. It's like as though that was the reason they missed their shot or whatever. I don't know, it's just really weird. Anyways, I don't want to waste a bunch of time. Let's jump right into the first one, and this may be the most unique one in this entire video. We're going to be doing Flakes. Okay, so Flakes has some interesting settings. His first thing is the field of view, and it's actually pretty similar to mine. He has a 107 field of view. Height is 100, so right here. Distance, now this is the kind of interesting one. He has 310 distance, which is pretty far out. His stiffness is 1. His angle is -5 like mine. And let's see, his swivel speed is 7. Transition speed is 1.2. So I think I have all of those. Okay, so here we are. We've got Flakes settings. And yeah, I would say obviously the biggest difference is just that distance. And that is unique among pros. Like that's probably, you know, one of the furthest out distances you'll find among any pros like current today. One thing I've noticed when looking at this is like basically everyone has the same like settings pretty much. Like there's not as much variation as there used to be, and everybody's, you know, sort of rocking the same thing. Now for this, like I feel like even though it's definitely further out than mine with that 310 distance, it doesn't feel that different. It feels stiffer. Did I up the stiffness? I don't even know if I did, but something feels different. The feel of it is definitely different than mine, but you know, I could rock this. Like this doesn't feel super weird. I feel like if we're gonna use Flakes, we need to honor Flakes by using a totally random car. I feel like he would definitely be down for that. All right, so we got our first match with Flakes' camera settings, and I feel like, you know, these are actually pretty similar to mine. They're not that different. And I don't know, I'm probably throwing myself off a bit by using a different car. Ooh, we both backed off. Okay. I tried the turtle flake. Oh, I got to jump. That's what Flakes does. He like turns his car upside down and jumps down. I think I'm like better with more zoomed out camera settings than like zoomed in. Like when I switched to squishies and I think Justin's and some of those in that last video, it was pretty bad. Like it was pretty rough because I don't know, I feel like zoomed out settings are definitely easier to get used to than like zoomed in settings. I don't know, unless it's like way zoomed out. Okay, we scored a goal. But the biggest like thing that feels different in my opinion is when you switch like your stiffness. Like distance is obviously part of it, but when your stiffness like goes way down, like or way up, or just something that you're like not used to at all, that really feels different. Wow, jeez, that flick. Oh my gosh, he flicked it like like 30 feet over my head. Look at this. What the? Wow, that was nice. Good shot, man. Give him a nice shot. So yeah, they're not too bad, honestly. Like I really don't mind these settings. They feel pretty good. You know, I think he has a little bit lower FOV than a lot of players, so that distance kind of makes up for that. Like it doesn't feel as weird as if you had, say, like a really high FOV and a high distance, then it would really feel weird. But yeah, not bad. I like it. I like him Flakes. But for now, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is actually Aztral. So let's get a different car. Let's get back to the Octane. These are very different than the ones we have now. We're gonna be doing 110 FOV for Aztral. Distance is 270. So those two things sort of even themselves out, even though distance and field of view are a little bit different, but it can feel like, you know, they're sort of evening each other out. The height for this is 90, so that's a little different. Angle, -4. Stiffness is 0.4, so like this is going to feel different. This is a huge factor. Stiffness is. Swivel speed 4.7, so that's down a little bit, actually down quite a bit, and then transition speed is 1.4. So there we go, and he has camera shake on, which is kind of weird. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Jeez, he doesn't have camera shake on. Okay, again, man, the stiffness is such a huge factor. Look how different these feel. Look at the dribbling. I feel like the height and the angle, man, really make a big difference. Height and angle, you know, obviously being lower to the ground can give you an advantage, obviously on the ground. So, you know, back in the day, like the old 1v1 players, the really good ones like Scrubkilla, his camera settings used to be way zoomed in and like kind of low to the ground. Oh, apparently I can hit double flip resets almost with it though. Man, my car just feels huge after using those other settings, using Flakes. But yeah, these are definitely different. These are a little, yeah, they're unique. I feel like that height angle combination that Aztral has going really gets you down on the field, and it just, I definitely can see the appeal of it, you know? Especially dribbling. I mean, I feel like flicks are definitely gonna be easier with something like this, but that swivel, or not the swivel speed, the stiffness is what feels different to me, like so different. It's sort of the ability of your the ability of your camera to catch up with your car when you do make like big movements. In fact, going straight is one of them. See how it sort of zooms out? If your stiffness is all the way up, so for example, let's go ahead and do this. If your stiffness is all the way up, you don't get that, right? You see how rigid it is? Your camera is just locked on the car, and when you take off going fast, the car doesn't really get any smaller. Whereas if you put it all the way down, like this, see how it takes the camera a while to catch up? You're not like behind the car right now. And you know, one of the goals of this, you know, is sort of to give you guys a feel for these different settings, what they're sort of beneficial for, and obviously if you like any of them or you feel like, oh, these look like something I would want to try, then give them a try. And if there's any that are just terrible, then, you know, you can just sort of dismiss them. One thing that, oh man, what's happening? A lot of newer players like to try stuff that pros have like basically already set up. So a lot of people don't want to like do their own camera settings. They want to, you know, just use some pros camera settings. And I totally understand that. If I were to pick up, you know, a random game I haven't played, the first thing I would do is try to go figure out like, you know, how are the key bindings for pros right now. All right, so the ground game feels definitely better. You know, that little air roll shot right there definitely felt really easy. You know, I knew he wasn't gonna be able to save that just by it being able to see where he was and being able to like really precisely approach the ball. I like these settings. I feel speedy. You know, the lower you are to the ground in anything, the faster you feel. So, you know, when you're going 200 miles in a plane, it doesn't feel the same. Oh man, the flicks doesn't feel as fast as 200 miles an hour on the ground. Astral's camera settings got me feeling all confident. Ooh, the transition between ball cam, I think that's transition speed, right? Yeah, these are really unique. Like, these feel just very different. Very different than, maybe I'm exaggerating, but these feel different than almost any camera setting I've ever used. Like, I think it's just the combination of being low and having the stiffness be low. Like being very low to the ground and having the stiffness be low, it just feels super different, super unique. I could see having my settings a little more like this, but probably not, you know, this far. I don't like that. That just feels weird. Too bad I'm not like as good as Aztral. Oh, what? Okay, I did not think I was gonna hit that in. What just happened? Dude, I'm gifting it. Okay, that was actually a really good shot. That was probably the best shot I've hit in like a little while. That just feels terrible. Is that slower or faster than what I'm used to? I can't even tell. It just doesn't feel right. Oh, he baited me. Okay, guys, so that was Astrals, and you know, those felt pretty good. I actually really liked those. We're gonna try a different one, and we're gonna actually do Firstkiller. So this should be pretty interesting. Pretty similar, honestly. Firstkiller has 109, so very similar field of view. Distance is 270. Height is 100, so a little up in height. Angle is -3. Okay, stiffness is 0.4, swivel speed is 10, transition speed 1.2. So here's Firstkiller's settings. Yes, these look familiar because I, you know, personally have watched a lot of Firstkiller, watched a lot of his matches on Johnny Boy's stream, so I am familiar with these. These look great. Honestly, these feel great. Not a whole lot different than Astrals. The biggest difference is the angle is sort of down a little bit, -3. Yeah, so it's down a little bit, but the height is up a little bit. So it feels different. It doesn't feel as much on the ground for me, but it's definitely still a more sort of grounded camera settings. I can definitely see how this is good for like a ones player. But I feel like these are pretty common. Like these basic settings are pretty much standard. Like let me look at againDRAFT. So let's see here. againDRAFT are 110, 100 height, -3 angle, like literally the exact same settings, 0.45 instead of 0.4, and then swivel speed is very different. But yeah, these are sort of the standard settings for pros these days. You know, the average just sort of octane using pro, and you know, you can see why. They feel really good. They're really nice. I'm not gonna like play a whole game with these because they're obviously very similar to Astrals. I don't really feel like we need to play a whole nother game, but I feel like these, you know, if I were gonna sort of adopt a pro's settings, it would basically be these. Let's do one more, guys. I want to give you guys at least one more. All right, yeah, I've got to do these. So these aren't actually pro settings, but this is, you know, I guess we'll say these are freestyler settings. So these are Jzr's settings. Jzr does 110 field of view, height is 100, distance, now this is very different than a lot of people, and this is kind of why I wanted to try Jzr's, 230 distance, so pretty far in, giving him that precision, hitting those flip resets and other fun stuff. The angle is -3, same. Stiffness is 0.7, so definitely the stiffness is up a little bit. Swivel speed is 5, so take that way down from where Firstkiller's were. And then transition speed is 1.6. All right, so wow. Okay, maybe you guys don't see it, but holy cow. Now these are old school, honestly, and I'd be curious if you're out there, Jzr, like, are these your settings still? I'm pretty sure they are from what I've seen. Like, I'm pretty sure these are updated, at least for the most part. But man, these feel a lot like what everybody used to use, like what pros used to use in a lot of SARP bets. This is sort of what people did. Man, these are just so different. I'm not ragging on them or anything. They're just different. But you know, as we've seen with competitive players, a lot of competitive players have moved away from having this low of distance, right? Because they need to be able to see the field more and be able to have just sort of a better idea of what's going on. Obviously, Jzr would clap me, so I'm not saying you have to have them more zoomed out to be good, but there's a reason why, you know, that's been the trend. This is more like Scrubkilla, you know, 2016 Scrubkilla settings. This is a little more like that. Or even, you know, if you look at somebody like Mike Rules or Marky Doodah, like all those people, even early Kronovi, they all had like sort of more zoomed in settings. But man, I feel like to get the feel for this, we need the breakout. You know, I can definitely see the advantage for freestyling. Any freestyler, well, I mean, not all freestylers, but there's definitely a trend among freestylers to have a more zoomed in camera settings because it's so much easier to air dribble and hit flip resets and just hit like high precision mechanical shots when you're more zoomed in like this. Jzr's a good ones player though, you know, like he uses these settings. Oh my goodness. The transition speed or whatever it is, or maybe that's the swivel speed, I don't even know. Switching back and forth from ball cam to car cam is so weird. Oh my goodness, Jzr, what are you doing? What are you doing with these settings, buddy? It's funny, he's had these settings you know, basically for forever, or at least something similar to this. I like the flicks. Wow, it lagged pretty bad there, but felt like I had the timing. I'm struggling to get the ball on top of the car though. Like every time I go to set up a play, I can't like, oh, I'm lagging on the kickoffs. No, no. There we go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, that felt pretty solid. My game is running like doo-doo right now. Does not feel good. What? What did I do? This stupid flat car? I thought... Again, I'm not blaming the car, but if I'd have had a, you know, like a Merc or something there, I'd have been fine. I'm not going to keep Jzr's settings. I mean, they're interesting. They're definitely interesting. And honestly, you should go try them out for sure. But let's get these back, whatever the heck I had them. I don't even know what I had mine at. But yeah, I'm going to have to go, I might have to go back and watch the beginning of the video to figure out what my settings were. But it was, I don't know, it was something like this. These don't feel too bad. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. And, you know, maybe we'll try this again. If you have any suggestions, maybe we could, you know, maybe we could do other freestylers camera settings. That would be fun. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for any videos similar to this, let me know. And hope you guys are doing well. We'll see you next time. Peace out.